When I was really struggling as a homeschool mom of many children, I really just wanted someone to hand me a simple guidebook. I really just needed to know what to do every day. Now, I did not want another opinion. I did not want the next trendy homeschool fad. I wanted real clarity that would give me real results within my homeschool. I was so tired of working really hard and getting nowhere, basically spinning my wheels, doing all of the wrong things. And of course, there is no book of the Bible that explicitly covers how to homeschool in a biblical way, but there are biblical principles woven throughout Scripture that certainly do apply to this vocational work that we have in front of us. Vocational means your calling. It doesn't just mean a job. And so I felt like if I could start treating homeschooling like the sacred vocation that I truly believe that it is, using biblical principles, that was the way to stop failing and start finally feeling successful in my homeschool. So I started looking for verses in the Bible that directly spoke to the way that I was trying to lead my homeschool and trying to lead my kids in this educational process. And what I ended up finding were principles that you have probably heard yourself over and over. You have probably, hopefully, read these yourselves over and over again. But when I decided to start applying these to my homeschool, that's when things finally started to click into place. And today I'm going to share 6 of those biblical principles with you. If by the end of this video, you are ready to take some of these biblical principles and start weaving them into your homeschool day, I would invite you to check out my Homeschool Schedule Blueprint. It is where I use these time management principles that are found in Scripture and started putting them into a system that really transformed the way I view time within my homeschool. So the link for that is in the description below. Principle number 1, wake up early and use your mornings well. Proverbs 31:15. She gets up before dawn to prepare breakfast for her household and plan the day's work. So if you look back, if you watch some of my older videos, you will hear me saying, I am not a morning person. I'm not really sure why, but I actually took pride in this fact, the fact that I could still get so much done in my day without getting up early. I still highly value sleep, and I make sure that I'm getting between 7 and 8 hours of sleep every evening. But now I am a morning person. I wake up at 5 a.m. on Monday through Friday, and I am simply stunned by how much better my days go. It gives me quiet time before my children wake up to read my Bible, get caught up on any readings that I need to do for school, and prepare for the day's schoolwork. It also gives me a little bit of time to work on my business. I also fold laundry from the previous day, and I go on a 45-minute walk outside every morning. It is a fantastic way to carry about my day. I actually was inspired a little bit to do this by someone. She was actually a fitness influencer on Instagram, and most of her reels talk about basically living a whole life before 9:30 a.m. She gets up earlier than I do. She gets up at 4, which I don't foresee myself doing that. But the idea of living a whole life before 9:30 a.m. really strongly appealed to me. I was feeling like there were not enough hours in the day, and part of that is because I was going to bed later than I should have been going to bed, and that time in the evening was not being used well. It was being used usually watching a show with my husband. Well, we can do that earlier in the evening, and I can get to bed still at about 9:30 now. So I started going to bed early, started waking up early, and my whole days really did transform. I have found that when I have that super strong start to my day, the whole day just goes so much better. The days were super intentional instead of ever feeling reactional, which if you've listened to me, you know that I hate being in reaction mode. I like being proactive. Well, what better way to be proactive than getting up intentionally before anyone else is up in the house and having a list that you go through and get done before anyone else is awake. Now, you do not need to get up at 5 a.m. In fact, you probably shouldn't get up. Actually, let me scratch that and say, you should not get up at 5 a.m. if you are in one of those periods where you know you have no business going after mega productivity, okay? Ladies, you should know by now that I am a firm believer in not pushing yourself too far when you are in a difficult pregnancy, whether that's the whole pregnancy or just the end or the morning sickness part, whether that is postpartum. I always take a 6-week break postpartum. Like, that is a non-negotiable for me. I give myself 6 full weeks to recuperate and get back to a strong, healthy mom before I start pushing myself. Also, if you have any sort of chronic illness, okay, I'm not recommending that you get up early. So just keep that in mind. For any of these where it feels like you really can't push any harder, then please don't. You all have the wisdom that God gave you, and you know you shouldn't be pushing your body beyond the framework that He put you in for this season. So use that wisdom. Number 2, don't be idle or lazy. Proverbs 6:6 and 13:4. Go to the ant, O sluggard, the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. Okay, so there was a time in my life and in my homeschool where I would tell myself, I'm super busy. I'm running this household with so many children, and I get more done than the average woman. So, you know, I'm not being a sluggard. I am definitely being like the ant. I am attending to all of the things that need to be attended to. But meanwhile, my phone usage was way too high. I was spending way too much doing none of the right things and all of the wrong things. I was wasting a lot of time. I was not being diligent with my time. When I started thinking about the ant and how the ant prepares and how the ant is busy and always doing the next thing, that's when I realized I was not being honest with myself. We have to be honest with ourselves, ladies, if we are going to get better. If we keep telling ourselves these little lies like, oh, well, you know, I'm working as hard as I can, or, you know, the way that today went was completely out of my hands. If we do that, we are never going to get better than we are today. And I don't know about you, but my goal is to improve on a daily basis, even if it is just a little bit. I am looking to do better today than I did yesterday, and better the next day than I did today. So I would encourage you to read up on those 2 verses and really commit them to your heart, because that is the posture we should all be taking. We should all be trying to live like the ant and not like the sluggard. God really convicted me through these 2 verses that I was not actually tired and overwhelmed. I was really just undisciplined. Homeschooling well does not require super mom energy, but what it does require is diligence. When I started showing up for my homeschool consistently, day after day, that is when things started to change for the better. Number 3, God is a God of order. 1 Corinthians 14:40, let all things be done decently and in order. I used to fall for the lie that a strict schedule would make our homeschool rigid and would make me into a drill sergeant and my children would hate me. But let me tell you what caused way more strife in my homeschool. It was chaos from having no framework and no rhythm of the day. And I will say, when there was chaos, when there was no rhythm and no one really knew what to expect, that is when I would lose my temper with my children. That is when I actually acted like a drill sergeant, because I had had it up to here and I couldn't take it anymore. That is when emotions rise, when you're in the middle of chaos, not when you're in the middle of order. When I started creating order in the home by consistent start times, morning routines, checklists for the children, our whole house calmed down. When we had that master family schedule and everyone knew what to expect. Everyone knew that Latin came after math. Everyone knew that composition came after Latin. Everyone knew that lunch was from 12 to 1, and at 1 o'clock we started doing quiet reading time. When all of that was put into place, that is when the home was calm, because Mom wasn't losing it anymore, and it was structured and it was peaceful, but most of all, it was productive. Order is not about control. It's actually about reflecting God's character. He did not create the world in the midst of chaos. Everything was done methodically and on time according to his plan. He ordered creation for our own good. And when we put that same order into our homes, that forethought, that proactivity into our homes, we are blessed by it. Again, if you need help creating that kind of order and structure in your home, the Homeschool Schedule Blueprint goes through all of this step by step, and you can have it done in an afternoon. Number 4, do not grow weary in doing good. Galatians 6:9. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Okay, now it's time to get real. Some days it feels like nothing is working and the wheels are falling off the wagon. Every mother has those days. No matter how much you plan, no matter how much you try, no matter how early you wake up, things happen in life. Okay, so the difference between a mom who's not growing weary and doing good is she knows that this is just a day or this is just a season. She knows that she has done the work required to get the wheels back on the wagon and get back on that road. Okay, that is the difference between falling off into chaos and just picking everything up and moving on her way. Okay, one emergency does not have to derail a whole homeschool day. Now, if you have a day of, emergency after emergency, and that happens, that does happen because this is real life, there's no reason to take the whole week off. Just get back on the horse the next day and get going. This is not an emergency. There's no reason for it to derail us. We cannot grow weary in doing good, and doing good is what we are called to do. And what better good could we do than continue on in the education of our children, whom God has entrusted us with? Just remember, homeschooling is long-term obedience in the same direction, okay? If you start homeschooling your child in preschool or in kindergarten and you go the full route, that's like 14 years for just one, okay? That's not even counting the ones behind. I always say I have 19 years down now and I have 17 more years to go. The clock resets every time you have a baby, okay? So moms, it's so important for us. We cannot lose sight of this. We cannot grow weary in doing good. Number 5, whatever you do, do it heartily as unto the Lord. Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord. Okay, now this one is a very good verse to pull out during those days when it feels like nothing is going right, or if you have not completely gotten your children, trained well so that they are being obedient and they're squabbling or they're being disrespectful. You have to make sure that whatever you are doing, even if we're not even talking about homeschooling here, even if we're talking about mopping up the milk that spilled on the floor, we are called to do it heartily as unto the Lord. That means with a good attitude, and it means doing a thorough, good job that you would be proud of showing the Lord, because ladies, He sees it, right? And it also means moving that ball forward. Okay. I don't know why I'm using all of these analogies. I'm using a lot of vehicular analogies and now sports analogies. Anyway, what I was saying is, it really is helpful. I've told several different moms before, if you find yourself in the habit of yelling, one thing that I have always done is picture my pastor's wife standing right beside me. I would never yell at my children in front of her. We should do the same thing with God, because we know that God is watching and He sees everything that we do. He sees our attitudes that are expressed, but He also sees the attitude that is in our heart. So we need to make sure that we are staying above reproach in our attitudes. We can't expect our children to have a good attitude and be diligent about doing school if we don't have control of our own attitudes. So we need to make sure that we are homeschooling heartily, that we are parenting heartily, that we are loving our children heartily, okay? Because God sees it all. We are doing it as unto the Lord. So we need to make sure that we are actually meeting a high standard of behavior for ourselves. When we do things half-heartedly, that is how we burn out. When we do things wholeheartedly as unto the Lord, that is where joy is found. Remember, your homeschool is not just school at home. It is service to the Lord. You are giving these children a Christian education. That is a worthy project, and you need to make sure that you're doing it heartily. Number 6, redeem the time. Ephesians 5:15-16. Look carefully then how you walk, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil. Okay, it is so easy for us to lose our focus. There's news, there's podcasts, there is your phone just waiting for you to pick it up and lose 30 whole minutes of your life before you even know what's happened. There's also over planning our homeschools and not executing. There's also comparing ourselves to other people and how we're not measuring up. There are so many ways that we can be distracted from the task at hand, which is giving our children a godly education that will serve them well for the rest of their lives. Time is one of the most valuable gifts that God has given us to steward. So we must make sure we are using our time wisely. Now, of course, I am not saying that you should never have any downtime, but Mama, your downtime should not be occurring in the middle of math lessons. You must put the phone away. You really must rid yourself of these distractions when you are supposed to be stewarding that time wisely and doing school with your children. When I started treating my time, my hours, my minutes like sacred assignments, that is when I started giving them the weight that they deserved. And that is when I put the phone away, stopped getting distracted by it, stopped looking for another way to use my time. Okay. I hear moms a lot say, my child is so unfocused, I can't get him to focus on math. While the mom really has the same hard time focusing on making sure that the child is focusing because her attention is also being pulled away. Now, obviously, I understand when your attention is being pulled away by another child. This is something that must be managed. However, we need to make sure that our attention is not being pulled away by outside influences. Redeeming the time does not mean overpacking your days and trying to fit every single good thing that we possibly can into it. That is not redeeming the time. When you overschedule yourself, nothing gets done well. What it means is making sure to pick the correct priorities for your family by the things that you value most in education, whatever your educational goals are, and you prioritize those and you make sure that those are getting done. Every single minute that you reclaim from distraction is a minute more that you are giving back to your calling. These 6 biblical truths may sound simple. I know that you have heard them before. I know that you have read them before, probably many, many times. But when we commit to actually living out these biblical principles in our life and in our homeschool, you will be amazed the transformation that occurs. And not just as a homeschool mom, but in your entire life. Your whole life will be changed if you allow it to be. So if you are ready to bring that type of peace and order into your homeschool days, but you need help structuring that schedule because it's just so tricky, I invite you again to check out the Homeschool Schedule Blueprint. It really is an easy system that will have you figuring out everything by the end of the afternoon. The link for that is in the description below.